back to Mr. J's Kitchen, and right now we're going to cook up some ribeyes in what's called a reverse sear method. So I've got my 2 steaks out. I'm going to pat these bad boys dry. Get all that fun stuff off of them. There we go. I'll do the same to the other side here. Flip that over. You don't always have to pat them dry. If they're a little damp or whatever, that's fine. You just want just enough moisture for the salt and pepper to stick. So I'm going to use some Himalayan salt. This is one of the easiest methods. It's kind of like sous vide, so I've got the oven set to 200. It's going to be a nice slow cook. Take about 45 minutes for a medium rare steak. A little longer if you like your steak medium, or if you like your steak better than that, then just cook it on the grill. I mean, more well done than that. So what we're going to do is we'll throw it on a wire rack, and I've got my rack here ready to go. It's lined with some parchment paper. So we're just going to toss these on here, nice and easy. And when we cook them in the oven at 200 for 45 minutes, what that does is it's going to cook the inside to just about the perfect amount. Then we take them out. We're going to pan sear them in a cast iron pan. So I'll take this over the oven, toss it in, and we'll be back in about 45 minutes. Okay, we're about ready to start cooking our steak. So the first thing we want to do is throw some olive oil in our pan. Now, if you don't have olive oil, you can always use vegetable oil. I prefer the taste of olive oil. It gives it a little bit of an Italian flair. It's a lot nicer for me, I think. And then what I've got here is some black garlic. So black garlic is it's a fermented garlic. It's got a super sweet taste to it. Really, really nice. So we're just gonna let that cook off a little bit into that olive oil. Might want to put a little bit more olive oil in there. There we go. And we're going to take our steak. And this part doesn't take very long at all. So what we're going to do is just take our steaks, throw them in here, right on top of the garlic. And hear it nice and sizzling. We're going to take a couple pats of butter, just toss those in. If you have a splash screen, this is a good time to use one, but I'm not using it for the video just because I think it detracts from the cooking part. So you can already see the steaks are starting to the fat is kind of starting to bubble up a little bit. That's a good sign. So we're going to give them a turn. We're going to do this probably 2 more times. Just turn them, and then we'll cook the sides. Now, if you have any fresh thyme or other fresh greens, you can use those. You can throw those in the butter, and those will give it a little bit more of a grassy flavor. But you definitely want to use a non-stick pan if you have one, And if you have a pan like this, you want to definitely use that instead. Get that black garlic to just kind of squish it and get it moved around inside the butter. You can use regular garlic if you want. It's a little bit easier. It's not quite as soft. You want to keep moving your steaks around. Make sure they're not sticking to the pan. Make sure they got a little layer of butter underneath them, just enough. Now the reason you want to start with olive oil has a higher burning point. So when you throw that butter in there for flavoring, it mixes with the olive oil and it keeps the butter from burning as fast. So now I'm just going to set these up on their side. And while that's happening, I'm going to kind of tip the pan a little bit, get some of this butter in my spoon, and baste. Just throw this stuff on top, make it nice and happy. Make sure both of your steaks are well covered with butter. Of course, you want to try not to get it on your oven, especially if you have a gas oven with an open flame. Now we're going to turn that. Set them up on the other side, like that. See how it's got a nice crispiness on the edges there? That's that fat getting in there. But you want to keep it nice and hydrated. A little bit of this butter. And then we'll just lay them back down flat and finish the sear on the side. Get those nice and golden. And then I got a surprise for you. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn this down to about a 5 out of 10. There we go. We got that nice caramelization going on right there on that side. So we'll flip these over. Yeah, those are looking real nice. Real nice. Alright, those should be pretty much done. So we're going to put them over here, back on that same wire rack we cooked them on. There's parchment paper under there. It's going to soak up any drippings. And now we've got our nice steaky flavor in the bottom of this pan. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple pieces of pineapple, throw those in there. While I was off camera, I did the unsexy thing of trimming the pineapple. I don't want to put these on top of the truffle, or the black garlic, sorry, and because I want the pineapple to cook all the way through. Now, you'll be able to tell when the pineapple cooks through because it'll start to turn opaque. So, shortly before it turns completely opaque, I'll turn these so the other side can cook. And the pineapple has a lot of acid in it, so it's going to round out the flavors from the steak. It's going to round, so the steak's got a lot of fattiness and really umami flavors to it, and the citrus and the acids from the pineapple are really going to round out what happens, or the way the steak tastes, or the steak tastes, either way. So we'll just let that keep cooking for a little while, and I'll be back when it's all done. Alright, well, we've got steak 1 done. I cooked the other steak a little bit longer because my friend who's here likes hers a little bit more on the medium side than the medium rare side. So I'm going to do it. Because these are ribeyes, there's a lot of fat in the middle. So I'm going to just trim around. And this is a Sujihiki. It's a 12-inch Sujihiki. It's kind of a hybrid between a Yanagaba and a classic American chef knife. And I actually like the fatty bits, so I'm gonna keep some of that. But there's a whole piece of it right there that I'm gonna cut off. And the grain kind of goes this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my slices just like this. This end part right here. Just take this whole thing right on the knife, transfer it straight to the plate, just like that. You do a little rainbow kind of thing there. And then we're going to take some of that pineapple that we just cooked up, throw that on the cutting board, cut out the heart. That. I'm gonna throw this right on top of our steak. And that is basically how you do a reverse sear on a steak. So, oven, straight to the pan, well, after a little bit of a rest, and then you let it rest a little bit longer after you sear it, and then you cut it up, and then you plate it, which it's plated on the corner there. I wasn't sure how much of it was in the frame, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And then all the rest of the side dishes go on afterwards. So hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was at least a little entertaining, if not annoying to watch somebody else cook steak while you're probably in a position where you can't. But maybe you'll go home and try this method sometime soon. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to all of you later. Bye.